Welcome back to Daggerfall. Today I'm doing post-commentary instead of live commentary. The reason I'm doing that is, I've been mostly focused on the main quest up to this point in the playthrough, and I haven't really shown a whole lot of the side content, some of it, but not a lot of it. So I just decided to turn the camera on, as it were, grind out side quests for an hour, edit it all down, and then do post-commentary over it. This will give you a better glimpse of what side questing in Daggerfall is like. And it's all going to be Mage's Guild content because there is a certain service that I want to have access to in the guild, but they won't let you unless your rank is high enough. And rank in guilds is determined by two things. One, reputation. You raise that by grinding out quests. The second requirement is skills. Your skills need to be at a certain point in order to get at the higher ranks. Now, I'm not going for the highest rank in the guild because that's kind of unnecessary, but there is a specific rank I want to get to. So, off we go with some side quests. This first one is a dungeon crawl. It's the only dungeon crawl I'm going to show in this video. You really only need to see one dungeon crawl to understand how it's going to work. There are a couple tricks to dungeon crawling. It's kind of hard to describe without showing this huge diagram of how the dungeons are laid out, how all of the dungeon blocks work. So, you know, I guess we shouldn't really talk about that. I'm going to set the anchor here, and we're going to travel to the dungeon. I've gotten this dungeon multiple times, actually, when I quest in Sentinel. So maybe the dungeon is special, I don't know. It's not a large dungeon. I found the quest target within about 7 minutes, so, you know, that seems pretty alright to me. Not a long dungeon crawling time. Kinda wish the entrance was a little easier to find, though. You kinda have to search the part of the map you travel to for the entrance to the dungeon because it's so tiny. I mean, did you see that thing? So tiny. So, it's a pretty normal dungeon. I actually did another dungeon crawl quest in this recording, but I'm not going to show it because I ultimately failed the quest anyways, which was a real bummer because that quest was actually pretty hilarious. Your task for that quest was to find this researcher who's in a dungeon somewhere. And when I actually went into the dungeon, I was wandering around forever and couldn't find him, so I used the teleport cheat just to see where the target was. And it turned out that the target was inside of a cage surrounded by gargoyles. So I was like, okay, I've got to find that on my own, because I got to show myself finding that and being all, what? Why is he in a cage surrounded by gargoyles? That's hilarious. And you know, the quest target could have been a random spot in the dungeon. It didn't have to be in that cage. It could have been underwater. There was another quest location that was underwater, and I was like, well, if the researcher ends up underwater, then, like, what kind of sense does that make? You know, sometimes funny situations like that, they make me think that there is kind of value in procedurally generated quests and content after all. Like, normally I scoff at the concept because, you know, if I hadn't gotten lucky and found the quest target for this dungeon, then I could have been wandering around forever without ever finding it, and, you know, that would have been really lame. And these side quests, they all have time limits too. Maybe, like, way longer than you would ever need them to be, but still. Like, eventually you're gonna run out of time if you don't find the thing fast enough. Or at least you won't make it back to the quester. That's another thing, too. Like, if you take too long... Well, actually, with teleport spells, this is a moot point. But if you take too long getting to the quest target, then you might actually fail the quest because you ran out of time on your way back. This was a problem with a quest for Princess Morgaya over in Wayrest. That's a nice little treasure pile to find, by the way. Oh yeah, there's water in this dungeon too. We don't go swimming this time around. Fortunately. I think if you had to go swimming in every dungeon, then, well, at least your swimming skill would be better. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make here is procedurally generated dungeons and quests. you know, sometimes you can get a funny result out of it, like with that loincloth over in the werewolf quest. That was a classic. I'm gonna remember that one for ages. Let's see here. Who knows what that water is even doing there anyhow? Like, after Arena, I figured they would just make swimming not a part of the game at all. Or maybe just a light part of the game, but no, they actually implemented three-dimensional swimming. Does it count as swimming? You sink like a rock, I guess. It's not like you're levitating underwater. Or maybe it is. I think the weight of your equipment makes you sink faster. And ooh, we have some dwarven items here. Can't equip them, but they're pretty expensive. And I think that pauldron I just picked up looks different from the other pauldron that I had equipped. So that's a little bit nice. We've got some skeletons here. Still not sure if they do in fact take less damage from blades, but I use blades exclusively. So in order to get the Mage's Guild rank that I want, I'm going to need to grind out my magic skills, because obviously it's the Mage's Guild. They favor the magic skills. And magic is actually the easiest way to, well, the easiest skill to increase. All you have to do is rapid cast a couple spells, rest for 6 hours, rapid cast some more spells, rest for 6 hours, etc. I'll show myself doing that at some point in this video. Like, not the full grind, because our restoration skill, I picked restoration to be the skill to grind out. It's at 43% right now, and it needs to be 63. The way the skill requirements work is that one skill needs to be at a certain point, and another skill needs to be at half that point. So, sort of. So for the rank I want, I need a magic skill to be at 63, and another skill to be at, what was it, 35? No, I don't think it was 35. I think it was 27. At any rate, I've got that covered. Like, all of my magic skills are at least 27, I think. And if they aren't, it's really easy to get them up there. Still, it's only 2 skills that are actually required, which is weird. Like, you'd think that the archmages who run the guild would want to be good at everything. Anyhow, here's the quest target. An Atronak, surrounded by spiders, and the Atronak noticed me first. The spiders didn't notice me at all until I started attacking. Very, very weird. So with that out of the way, we teleport. And as a testament to my video editing, I accidentally cut out the part where I received the reward, but it was only 75 gold. I have no idea why the payments are so low. Oh, and this is me getting upgraded to Conjurer, by the way. In what is another one of Daggerfall's strange and semi-annoying adherences to real life, you can only get 1 promotion per month. So, in order to get another promotion, I have to wait a month of in-game time, of course. But the thing is, whenever they promote you in any of the guilds, they always promote you to the highest rank that you meet the requirements for. So as long as I grind out the necessary reputation and skills, then I will be at the rank required next month. So, everything's cool. This is a quest where you have to guard the guild. What happens is after you loiter for 1 hour, some enemies appear, and then you loiter for 2 more hours, and then you receive the reward. Not really a difficult quest to deal with. Also, that third enemy there has somehow not noticed me this entire time. I have no idea how. Surprise! And he's gone. We take their gold, we leave all their other items. Apparently, we'll have to get somebody from the guild to clean up these corpses later. So we loiter for a little longer. I believe that was a quest where you have to guard a wizard while he's teleporting or going to sleep or something. I stopped paying attention. And of course we have to identify the reward, even though the guild gave it to us. They could just identify it for me. But no. I should really get the spell that lets you identify items on your own. Anyways, we have a religious item that cures poison. How fantastic. If I wanted to cure poison, I would make a spell for that too. I think you can talk to the wizard you're supposed to guard in that quest and it ruins the quest. So, like, don't do that. Anyhow, it's time for a demonstration of how to grind skills, or specifically the magic skills. This is something that the Elder Scrolls series has a problem with in general. Because, like, all you have to do is rapid fire your spell, rest. I rented out a tavern room, but you can do this in a dungeon too. Your skills increase. And what is this woman doing in my room? That's very strange. Why is there an NPC there? Okay. That's weird, but okay. At least she's not naked. Otherwise I would ask questions. So rapid fire spells. And if I were leveling destruction instead of restoration or something, I think I would need spell absorption and then just cast it at myself over and over again. That's how you level destruction. In the other Elder Scrolls games, you can grind your magic skills in a similar fashion. Oh, and here's me showing the unofficial Elder Scrolls page's website. They have information on the entire series, and I just showed what skill requirements I need for each individual rank. So we rest up, and then rapid fire the spells again. Of course, you don't want to watch me do this forever and ever, so I will just skip to the part where I get to the required restoration skill. Any second now, video editing me. You can pretty much do this in the other Elder Scrolls games as well, by the way. Although it might take a little longer. Yeah, here we go. I don't even think I need to cast that many times, but we rest up. And there we go, 63 restoration. And maybe you know, I just realized, I never mentioned this, but each skill has an attribute that's associated with it, and the higher your attribute, the faster your skills related to that attribute rise. So, I think that would have gone faster if my willpower wasn't so low, because restoration is a willpower skill. Oh, and you can also exit the tavern to the roof. Or that particular tavern anyways, just in case you wanted to vault across buildings, or pretend you're playing Assassin's Creed, maybe. Actually, if you wanted to pretend you're playing Assassin's Creed, what you should do is join the Dark Brotherhood. Maybe I'll show that at some point. But on with another quest. Wow. This is an interesting quest already. Defend the Mage's Guild from an attack from Oblivion? Summoning a few billion Daedra. Ooh, you want me to guard against a few billion Daedra? Well, we get a few 100,000 coins, so obviously we have to do it, right? And we have to guard the guild at midnight. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I am using some unofficial extra quest packages. I think a couple of the quests I show in this video are from that package, but I'm not sure. If a quest appears on the unofficial Elder Scrolls wiki, then of course it's an official quest. They don't give any information on unofficial quests except for that werewolf quest modification that I already showed. There are a couple of interesting quests in those packages. I kind of just installed them just to have them, because like when the installer for this game asks if you'd like to install unofficial packages, then, you know, sure, why not? Everybody loves more content. So I might have to look up which ones are actually unofficial and get back to you on that. Okay, so we just loiter around here for a little bit. It's midnight, so enemies should be popping up at any time. And we have Daedroths. I haven't talked much about the Daedra yet. The Daedra are basically monsters from you know, hell, pretty much. Or the Elder Scrolls version of it, at least. So there weren't exactly a few billion of them, but those are pretty tough enemies, so hopefully we should get a nice reward of 100,000 gold pieces. Not that I need more money. I didn't really intend on giving you all that. Nobody expected you to survive, you know. Oh, so that's how it is it? Now we just get a stinking gem as our prize. But our reputation still goes up for completing that quest, so whatever. I'll take it. This, I know, is an unofficial quest because it's not listed on the wiki. We have to go and steal a magic item from a temple. This should be fun. Anyhow, we'll anchor ourselves here so we can get back in a flash. Travel to the town with the temple in it. I'm not sure if this quest actually lowers your reputation with the temple that you're stealing from. It would be a nice attention to detail if it did. I know there are some quests that if you complete them, you lose reputation with whatever faction you were working against. It just makes sense. So the temple is not that far away. Since I haven't mentioned it yet, the temples are also another faction that the player can join. There are actually 8 temple factions, one for each god, all of which offer varying benefits, but the quests are all the same between every temple, except for one unique quest for every god, which, you know, it would have been nice if all of the temples had all unique quests. That would have been very interesting. Also, I have no idea why there's a treasure pile there. Another weird thing about the temple is, I'm just gonna, like, go in and grab the item we're supposed to get. Apparently there's supposed to be an enemy that comes out to fight you, but he's not showing. Temples also offer the ability to summon Daedra. Yes, Daedra. I have no idea why the gods let you summon demons from Oblivion, but, you know. Actually, that's a service you can also unlock for the Mage's Guild, which is what I've been grinding towards. I want to show off the Daedra summoning, because summoning Daedra leads to quests, the rewards for which are some of the most powerful artifacts in the game. Like, everyone who plays the later Elder Scrolls games knows that if you do quests for the Daedra princes, then you can get some really powerful artifacts. In fact, most of the artifacts from Arena that were not associated with any god are now associated with some of the Daedra princes. So yeah, very interesting routes to go down. Unfortunately, in Daggerfall, there are lots and lots of very bad inconveniences that make Daedra summoning, like, almost not even worth it. Oh yeah, at this point, my reputation with the guild was high enough that it triggered a quest that activates when your reputation with certain factions is high enough. So we just got a message. Let's see what it says. Oh, a death threat. How wonderful. Always nice to open up a letter and find that, right? So that death threat is actually a signal that another side quest just opened up, so we'll eventually have to deal with that. Oh, this quest also had a minor bug in it when I played. You'll see that when I open the fast travel menu, I get another letter, but the message that says it's supposed to say, oh, you just got another letter, but for whatever reason it gives you the letter itself as the message. So that can be a little bit strange. What the quest does is that it will give you one of 3 different letters. Yeah, here it is. It talks about the Numidium, which is the giant super weapon that Tiber Septim used to conquer Tamriel, like, over 400 years ago. It's apparently controlled by the totem of Tiber Septim, which we know from getting the Emperor's letter back is now in the hands of somebody called Lord Woodbourne. So yeah, seems like the totem of Tiber Septim is indeed a very dangerous item. But according to this letter, it says that Numidium lost his mantle and heart, whatever that is. Until his heart is found, the totem is useless. That's another one of the weird plot things with Daggerfall. Like, who even cares about the Totem of Tiber Septim if it's useless without the heart? What if you just never found the heart? Like, eventually we're gonna find the heart, of course. Spoiler alert. This is the second possible letter you can get. The weird thing is, after I read this letter, it disappeared from my inventory entirely, because the quest file that controls giving the letter to you, it's deactivated as soon as you read the letter, so that causes the letter to disappear. Yeah, the way Daggerfall is programmed, it can often be weird at times. So, enough of my rambling about letters and whatnot. I need to fill dead air while I go and kill this vampire for this quest, so I'm going to talk about Daedra summoning itself for a little while. It's a very powerful and yet a very inconvenient service. In fact, I don't think most players would even touch it during their playthroughs, because even though you can get quests for some of those powerful artifacts in the game, the costs are just annoying. The time it takes to gain access to it is just annoying. In order to gain access to Daedra summoning, you have to rise through the ranks of either the Mage's Guild or a temple. And the service itself costs over 100,000 gold every single time. Yeah. And even if you do pay the gold, you can only do it on 16 specific days of the year. Like, each Daedra Prince has a summoning day, and you have to perform the summoning on that day. Otherwise, you can't do it. It's so annoying. Daggerfall has a 360-day calendar. You can see how this would be kind of annoying. Like, you have to know what the summoning day even is. And even if you do show up with the gold at the right time, it's possible that the Daedra Prince will simply not answer the call entirely. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with the game designers. They made it cost so much, and yet randomly it can fail. And even if you do succeed in summoning the prince, sometimes it won't be the prince you want. There is a very small chance of that happening too. So, all of this, of course, can be circumvented simply by saving the game before you attempt the summoning. Yeah. All of those annoying little inconveniences, and you can just fix all of it by saving the game and reloading if it doesn't go your way. Now, if you can't wait for the specific day for the specific Daedra Prince that you want, what you can do is try summoning them at a Witch Coven. See, you don't have to rise through the ranks to gain access to their Daedra summoning, and they can summon any Daedra Prince any day of the week. The problem is that each day they pick a random prince that they will summon, and they won't change it until the next day, so you have to keep trying them on different days until the one that you want comes up. And that's if you even know where a Witch Coven is in the first place. The exception to all of these rules is the one specific Daedra Prince, Hircine. He can only be summoned by a specific Witch Coven in a specific region. But they will summon him at any time you want. Of course, this is only of interest to you if you are a werewolf, because the artifact that you get is only useful for werewolves. Anyhow, seeing as the artifacts are all very powerful and very useful, I think I might just try and get them all on this playthrough. Unlike in Arena, there's no limitation on how many artifacts you can collect, so getting all of them should be a fun little exercise, even if it might take quite a while considering all the money I have to gather. Oh yeah, I'm level 11 now after all of that grinding I did to get my skills to where it needed to be. But hey, 100 intelligence is nothing to sneeze at, huh? Alright, we're back with live commentary, and you know what I just found out? It turns out that if you use certain items in your inventory, they can change their appearance, like these clothes. If you use this cape, the hood comes up, and honestly it looks pretty ugly, and it covers the helmet for some reason. Whatever, we'll keep the hood down because I like having the hood down. Anyhow, I'm going to set the anchor here, and we are going to travel. We are going to travel to Wayrest. Why are we traveling to Wayrest? That's because we now have access to a side quest that takes place there. And I'm gonna go recklessly because I want to save as much time as possible. And good, we arrived at daytime. I'm gonna check in with the Mage's Guild to see if they're ready to promote me yet. as I have the rank required. The game actually knows that you have the rank necessary to enter the guild 24/7, because that's a perk you can get entering the guild at any time of the day. Except I'm not even sure why that's a perk, because if you enter the guild before opening hours, there's nobody there. But at least you'll know you have the rank you want. So we will head over there. Is it opening hours yet? It is. Okay. So in we go, talk to somebody, and boom, we are Warlock rank, and we can now use the Daedra Summoner, as well as all of the other services of the guild. That includes purchasing magic items, purchasing soul gems, creating your own magic items, all of which we will toy with in the next video. The only service we don't have access to is the Teleporter, who can send you to anywhere in the Iliac Bay on a whim. Of course, that's not necessary considering travel time is already... Yeah, it's not that bad. And we have our own recall spell, so that's very nice. What direction am I even going in? I'm trying to find the palace right now. So there are a couple of things you should know about the quest we're about to go on. In my experience, it has been very buggy. Like, the quest dialogue is buggy, the target is buggy, and for some reason the quest target will be in wherever you unlocked the quest, wherever you met the requirements, rather. Even though it starts in Wayrest, technically. Yeah. More to do with Daggerfall's very strange quest engine, but whatever. There are also supposed to be assassins that randomly come after you until you've completed this quest. So, whatever. We don't run into any because we didn't really give them much of an opportunity to come after us. So the quest giver is right here. I'm going to use info to tell you that this is Princess Elisana, so let's talk to her. She sends you a letter that says her hubby, Lord Woodbourne, recommended we speak with each other, and it seems Elisana has a job for us. An acquaintance of mine, a perfectly delightful Princess Elisana... That's you! That's you, girl! That's you! See? I told you it was buggy. So we'll just accept the quest. We need to travel to a certain town in Sentinel, which is why I set that anchor. I knew this was going to happen. It's an escort quest. You have to escort somebody over there. Now, the idea here is that while you're escorting this person, assassins come after you more and more. But since you can just teleport directly to... Like, you can... There's so many ways you can travel that don't involve walking across the map. You can teleport, you can just use fast travel. Like, if you had to physically walk from location to location, then this wouldn't... that's not the town. Then there would be more of a chance for the assassins to come after you. But that just doesn't happen. So let's check on the date. It is 22nd of Evening Star. Okay. That's fine. The date's important. So I'm just gonna... well, it's nighttime now, so we can't really search for the location we're supposed to go to. I accidentally traveled recklessly, so let's loiter until morning. Maybe that'll give the enemies a chance to come after us. And when they do come after you, you can check their bodies, and you'll see that they have a note on them from somebody who just signs their name as W. And it's in order to kill you. So let's find an NPC and talk to him. He doesn't know. And of course, this mysterious W can only be Lord Woodbourne, who, like, initiates the quest anyways. There, I got the location. So yeah, Lord Woodbourne, who, as we know, has the Totem of Tiber Septim according to the Emperor, wants you dead. He must not want you to find out about Lysandus or anything, huh? Mighty suspicious. Looks like we'll have to get the totem from him eventually. This door's open. And there she is! object. What's a totem? Ah, of course. This entire quest was actually one of Elisana's traps. She was trying to trap us. But due to the buggy nature of the quest, it kind of doesn't come off that way. So anyhow, that was fun, I guess. Next time, we will mess around with magic items and Daedra and all sorts of other fun stuff.